Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about this situation with Obi-Wan and the alleged review bombing, but we're also going to talk about the fact that this might be part of the marketing. I'm really starting to think this. I was naive a couple of years ago thinking that, like, what are they doing? The fans are turning on these franchises because they're constantly baiting the fandom. The thing is they keep people talking about it. Mm-hmm. You know, look at The Last Jedi. Like, we're still talking about The Last Jedi, even though it's predominantly negative. We're still talking about it 5 years after the fact.
To be fair, people on Twitter keep bringing it up. The media keeps bringing it up. And the media factors very, very heavily into all of this.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that because I think, again, you know, Lucasfilm being Lucasfilm, they're trolling people for sure. But I also think that when they do a show that they know is going to be polarizing, and not for racist reasons, but because of the potentially canon-breaking reasons, they're going to bank on nerd outrage as part of their marketing. And we're going to talk about how really in a lot of ways it might be better to just let these franchises go and let them fail. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, move on to other things, because frankly, that's the only thing that sends a message. If people are still talking about these shows negatively, it still shows up in Google. The media is still incentivized to write articles about how shitty fans are to get clicks. And then people are going to go watch the shows because you're going to be like, oh my God, this is awful. I got to go watch this so I can give a hot take.
Like, I have to make sure I watch it because I don't want to be labeled. I mean, I don't want people to think I'm just a bad person.
It's all this outrage. I'm going to have to go watch this and see. And then I have to signal on Twitter and Facebook that I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. You know, but I think the silent majority of people are kind of over Star Wars. I mean, it's going to be a mixed bag. You're going to get the occasional good or good-ish thing like The Mandalorian. But I mean, looking at what's coming down the pipeline, a lot of it looks very subpar. Obi-Wan, we did a review, and honestly, my opinion on it is it feels low rent in addition to busting canon. The racism angle, to me, didn't even factor into it.
Yeah, it was funny because that was like we didn't have much of a problem.
No, Reva, the episodes I watched was like, she's there.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured they're making her really, 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 really annoying because they were going to try it. Because if the rumors are true, she's going to be a different character at the end than she is. So they're going to overboard the beginning to make her look extra unlikable. And I figured that factored into it. Actually, most of the complaints I heard were more to the fact that Leia looks like she's 5. And, you know, why the hell is Vader and, Obi-Wan having this whole thing going on when they basically implied in A New Hope that they hadn't seen each other. Yeah,
in A New Hope, it was strongly implied that was the first time they had seen each other in decades, and now it's like, oh no, apparently they've had fights in between that time.
Because Disney wants to make more stuff.
Because Disney wants to make more stuff, right?
And they want to use a legacy character to do it.
Yeah, and it's very tiresome. The whole thing is just getting very tiresome, and like I said, we didn't talk about Star Wars for a long time, because other than negative news, there really wasn't much to talk about.
The Mandalorian wasn't bad.
The Mandalorian wasn't bad. But then again, that was another example of they had something that worked. They had something that was actually getting fans back on board. And then the Gina Carano situation happened, and that just cast a shadow over the whole thing.
And then they take it. Then they just keep running with it. And eventually you're beating that dead horse. And the horse is already dead. Stop beating the horse.
All right, so we're gonna talk about this and the broader implications and what I personally think is going on here. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're almost 269,000 subs. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube.
There's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, and I think there are some people out there that maybe you're kind of pushing some buttons with our channel. So we're gonna have to ask you to check and see if you're still subscribed, please. That you're not bots, Russian bots. Anyway,
they wouldn't be watching our channel.
They wouldn't be watching it. They wouldn't care about Star Wars either. No. Oh no, that's right. They're all about Star Wars because they're going to use Star Wars to influence the election. That's
right.
Ridiculous. So yeah. So anyway, you know the story, right? Lucasfilm comes out with a new product. Fans are angry about said product for reasons. Lucasfilm PR and marketing tends to turn it in a different direction. And they, of course, you're a racist, you're a homophobe.
In this case, I mean, it was a little weird they preemptively did that. Said that, oh, hey, by the way, But then, to be fair, I'm sure that it's happened to Boyega and other people too. So I'm sure it was going to happen no matter what.
By Disney itself, actually.
Yeah, I know. They don't mention that.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, I'm sure it was inevitably going to happen that people act like shitty people. But I don't think it's necessarily, doesn't matter who you are. People would hate you for whatever reason. Other actors probably got harassed for some other stupid reason. So it was going to happen. So what happens is they preemptively tell her this. Then as soon as it happens, which we knew was going to happen, put a statement out, but going way above and beyond, bringing Ian McGregor out, everything else. Meanwhile, Rosario Dawson got all kinds of shit, and they did nothing. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they, I asked on Twitter, I said, did they ever issue an official statement defending Rosario Dawson? Because, I mean, she was a triple threat. You want to talk about, having the deck stacked against her in the progressive stack. I mean, we've got a POC woman, who's bisexual, okay, playing a character who was historically played by a white woman.
And then who wasn't asked to be in the show, and people were mad about that.
Right. So, theoretically, Rosario Dawson should have been attacked more.
Oh, I know she was.
But not by the
I don't know if it's more, but I know she was attacked. And I also know that when I would go on to the threads, like it could be about Disney Plus's Marvel thread, right? And there'd be people, and anytime they put an announcement up, there'd be people in there, you need to cancel Gina Carano, you need to cancel Rosario Dawson. And people say, why do you have to cancel Rosario Dawson? They asked for Gina Carano too. Well, because she's a transphobe. And I'm like, but then later it was like, but they already said that was going to be thrown out. Yeah. It doesn't matter because they heard from a friend of their friends, cousins, nephews, brother, whatever. And they did. They were after her like really bad, and they didn't do anything. It's not Lucasfilm, but Disney adjacent. When Zoe Saldana got called all kinds, basically the same kinds of names they're mad about Moses Ingram getting called, because she defended Chris Pratt. Yeah. No one put a statement out.
It's very selective, and I think unequivocally that people should definitely denounce racism.
100%.
That I don't think that's ever been a question. If you are legitimately racist and you feel like you have to make racist comments, don't do that.
No. And the thing is, I mean, I don't think anybody should have to deal with the shit that she had to, read and talk about.
No.
I agree 100%. She shouldn't have to. And we've never said otherwise. But what gets me is immediately as soon as this came out, which was really interesting because it was right after Lucasfilm told her it was going to happen, which honestly, it would have happened either way. Then it was leveraged immediately. And people were like, well, them saying that, people are racist or trash doesn't mean all Star Wars fans are trash. I'm like, yes, I agree with you. That's exactly true. That would be the case, except immediately after that was posted, social media and the media did exactly what we said they were going to do and ran with this narrative that, of course, the toxic fans who hated those movies and who are all the fans, fandom menace and all those shitty people are the ones that are being racist.
Yeah, and we've seen this so many times. Like, this is...
If you don't like it, it's because you're racist.
This is the same game plan out of the same book. It was called The Last Jedi. We saw them using this before.
We saw all kinds of properties.
Everything. Star Trek, Doctor Who,
She-Ra,
Lord of the Rings.
He-Man.
I mean, all of these classic IPs. Basically, it's, I guess you call it outrage marketing. Now, speaking of He-Man, Kevin Smith kind of tipped his hand a little bit when he had the, the morning after party with Revelation at the convention. And he said that Netflix, even though there was a lot of negative talk about He-Man, Netflix was loving it because it led to more views.
Right.
And it led to more online chatter, which led to more interest. And that actually is true. I worked in marketing for years. And sometimes negativity does lead to sales and interest. And that interest leads to sales. People are going to check something out just because it's being talked about, even if it's being talked about in a very negative way.
They'll hate watch it.
They'll hate watch it. And they will. People will go hate watch it. And I think, honestly, honest to God, I think Lucasfilm is sitting there like, well, these chuds, we know we can get them worked up. So let's do XYZ thing because we did it before. And they'll promote the show for us. And people will go check out this show.
And, and people are going to be mad about this, but it's the truth. It wouldn't put it past me that it got put out there that they told her this and that accounts that were sock puppet accounts, all accounts of certain extremist people, weren't actually made just to go do a caricature of what they think that what the, quote unquote, the fandom menace is, trying to be like, look at those haters, look at those trolls. I honestly think media is behind some of these things, because then they have something that they run with, because immediately they were running with this.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen stuff drop, and then the media had stories like, how did you get it so fast?
How'd you write some, 1,600 word think piece on this when it literally just happened an hour ago?
And the thing is, so I would not be, I know that's not saying that I don't think that some of the comments are real. I 100% believe comments are real. But you can't say that, you're just saying it's all a lie. That's not what I am saying. So stop saying what I'm saying, things I'm not saying. I 100% believe that she got a lot of racist shit. I 100% agree that that's not okay, and we've mentioned it many, 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 many times.
It doesn't matter. We say stuff and people twist what we say.
But I 100% know that as soon as it was said, even though they did make it clear, they said those people that made racist, the people are making racist comments on the shit, people, that immediately it's going to be twisted, that anybody who doesn't like it, and that's what I'm seeing in the comments. I mean, and other things. Like, people would say, well, I don't really like the character, but I think the writing's bad. But they have to preemptively say, well, I'm not racist, and and the actress is amazing. The actress is phenomenal. The actress is the best thing ever. She walks on water. She's so great. But I thought the writing was terrible. Because you're not allowed to say, I don't like the character, I don't like the writing, unless you pay tribute in your compliments. Otherwise, you're a racist.
Yeah, and this game is getting old. This is really getting old, because what's going to happen is you're not going to have equality in media anyway, because you're never going to be able to be honest about somebody's performance or their movie or whatever, because it's almost like if you say anything negative about anything done by a non-white, non-straight, non-male person, then you're a literal bigot and a hate monger. And
and the media is perpetuating it. The media and the studios.
Yeah, they are.
And they're doing more damage than they're doing more harm than good. All it's doing is creating apathy. And you might get an initial boost, but you're losing your audience in the long run.
So real quick, the Babylon Bee.
This is actually funny as heck.
Had this article, and this is basically it. I mean, they've become, the Onion, I guess, here. But they're talking about this obviously racist Star Wars fan, this toxic white male. His family members came to the conclusion he was a toxic white supremacist because he said that Reva was a poorly written character, and he really wished the black actress would have been given better lines, more interesting character development, and a storyline that made her a fan favorite.
Which is what a lot of people are saying, yeah.
Man, this character was a missed opportunity.
Yes.
They could have fleshed her out so much better.
I think they're going to, though.
Yeah, said the man, unwittingly revealing his deep-seated hatred for people with darker colored skin. I wish she could have been given better dialogue and direction so she'd really come alive on screen and I could be immersed in the world of Star Wars again. I really wanted to like her, added the man, who obviously hates black people and doesn't want them to appear in any of his favorite franchises ever. Such a waste of screen time when they could have given her more to do. They really didn't do her justice, the hateful racist added sadly as he wiped cheesy popcorn dust on his Lando Calrissian shirt and glanced at his Finn and Mace Windu figures propped up on the mantle. Mm-hmm. That is pretty much it, because we said in the previous video, Star Wars fans have not had a problem historically with strong female characters. They have not had a problem
with good, well written.
Right.
Yes, good.
Right. They have not had a problem with black people in Star Wars, and in fact,
good, well written,
yes, people were legitimately excited when Sam Jackson was gonna be in the Phantom Menace. I remember that people being like, oh my god, we're getting Samuel L. Jackson in Star Wars, that's pretty badass.
Plus I want to mention that Nick Fury was usually white.
He was, and I
didn't even care they changed it. Some people did. I didn't care. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, it's actually, look, you want to put Sam Jackson up against David Hasselhoff? I like David Hasselhoff, but come on.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not the issue here. And like I said, Rosario Dawson should have gotten it 3 times over because she had 3 things stacked against her,
What gets me is just not that long ago, you could judge a performance by the performance. You could judge a show by how well it's written, how, if the story was good, if the characters were good. And you were allowed to. 1, you're allowed to have an opinion. And 2, you were allowed to, actually watch a show and, say whether you liked it or not. And they were written because they were characters that happened to be these things. Mm. Now, even if a character just happens to be, like in the character of Reva, she happens to be black, it's not a big deal, except for the fact that they're making it a big deal. They're like, because her number 1 character quality is that she's a black actress who went to Yale.
George Bush went to Yale too.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I'm just saying, like a lot of people went to, and look, it's a hell of an accomplishment, but it doesn't have anything to do with Star Wars or the quality of the show. And again, if you watch a review, if you actually watch the video and listen to what we're saying,
which they don't.
They don't. They look at the thumbnail. I so many people on Twitter, I'm like, did you watch the video? Because I literally answered your question. The video.
Well, now the media is trying to spin it. Besides the fact that immediately social media, the usual suspects, and the media ran with it right away. And, and like, again, I'm going to tell you, you're allowed to like it. You're allowed not to like it. If you love it, that's cool. You know what? I'm happy for you. I have no problem with you liking this show. If you like the show, that's cool. Go for goo. I don't care. If you don't like it, you're allowed to not like it. It has nothing to do with you being a racist, unless you're an actual person that was out there making racist comments, then fuck you. But,
yes.
You're allowed to like or not like the show. The media ran with it immediately, and they're like, oh, if you don't like it, you're racist, basically. That is not what Lucasfilm said. Lucasfilm said that we disavow. They basically said we don't like racism. It's shit. I agree with that. If that's all it was. Thing is, that's not all it was. And we're seeing it already. It's review bombed and blah, blah, blah.
I really, truly feel that this whole thing was calculated based on past experience with the fans.
All the comments were
not fake. All the comments, but I think they knew what was going to happen. Their marketing people knew what was going to happen. They're like, okay, this show is going to be a disaster. Not just because we've got a black woman on, but this show is going to be a disaster because it's going to be cheap. It's not going to resonate with a lot of fans. People are going to be angry.
Plot holes.
Yeah,
Real quick, I saw an article was talking about how the show fixed the plot holes. And then when you read the article, it basically talked about what the plot holes were, offered no reason why it was fixed, and but the article was about how they fixed it. But there was nothing in there saying, well, that fixed this. It didn't say that. It just was like, but this happened. But that doesn't fix the plot hole.
They're going to defend it because they're like, yay, I'm standing up against racism. And also, I like the show. And that's fine. If you like, whatever it is. If you like Star Trek Discovery, good on you. If you like, Disney Star Wars, good on you. If you
We're not going to make fun of you for
I
that.
don't care. You're allowed to. We've actually had people come into our comments, even in videos where we were scathing, like with, She-Ra and stuff like that. Like, I like the show, but I understand where you guys are coming from with like the attacks on the OG fans and stuff like that.
It's like you are allowed to like the show. We are not not going to harass you, make fun of you, treat you like shit for liking it. You're allowed to like it. What we call out is the behavior around it from the media, from like the studios, and from the way people behave, vilifying people who don't agree. And that's what I have a problem with. Like, if some people disagree with me all the time, and that's completely fine. People love She-Ra. I don't. I've tried to find a couple positives, and I did. I liked Catra, I liked Entrapta, but overall, I didn't like it. But a lot of people really, really love it, and that's fine. I don't care if you really, really. You're allowed to. I won't say anything bad to you unless you're out there calling me names for not liking it. You're attacking other people for not liking it, and you're being a complete fucktard asshat. Then I will call you out. Otherwise, if you disagree with me on something, that's completely fine. Yay, good for you.
Yeah, right.
You're allowed to. That's cool. I don't care.
Or threatening to punch our kids over stupid
over cartoons. Yes, I know. It's like it.
Idiocy.
You're allowed.
It's fine. Look, I guess my feeling on this is like, if you don't like us, don't watch our channel.
Why do you care what we think of you? What you like anyway?
If you think we're so horrible, if you think we're horrible, awful people, why do you give us the time of day? Why do you watch our videos? Why do you
harass us on the internet?
Again, it's the same thing here. Like, I gotta tell you, we do get hate viewers, and we
make lots of money on it.
We do make money, and it also boosts the algorithm. I don't think people understand that. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, there's one YouTuber, I don't know him personally, but there's an entire subreddit dedicated to calling this guy a Yahtzee, right?
Okay.
Entire 4,000, 5,000 people belong to this group. They keep posting links to his YouTube videos. What Google sees is, wow,
this guy's really popular.
He's really popular. Look at all these people on Reddit posting links to his videos. My God, let's boost this guy even further.
By all means, if you want to keep hating on us on Reddit and posting our videos, go ahead. Please do.
Yeah, go for it, because it actually helps us in the long run. But again, it helps us, and it helps Lucasfilm. It helps Disney when people get outraged. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. And it's a weird thing. And I think, honestly, kind of going forward, the only way any of this is going to change, and it may never change, like Star Wars, as you remember it, is never going to happen again. You might get pieces of it here and there, but again,
then watch what you like and then ignore the rest.
Yeah, just ignore. I mean, we call out the marketing people behind the shit. We call out the drama on social media, and it's basically a lesson in what not to do. But I think what actually has to happen for anything for there to be like a sea change in pop culture is for old franchises that have been bastardized
to go away,
to wither and die. I hate
new things. Be creative. Make up new things.
At one point in time, Star Wars was new and fresh. Doctor Who was new and fresh. Star Trek was new and fresh. And now, they become cogs in corporate machines. They're never going to be what they were before.
No.
And
it's all by committee.
It's all by committee. You don't have a single visionary. Like, they talk about the Lucasfilm story group, whereas you had just George Lucas bouncing ideas off of a couple of his friends, but it was all George Lucas's story. And once George Lucas lost Star Wars, it lost the plot, and it's so many other franchises too. We're seeing the same thing.
These corporations buy the rights, and then they destroy it. And it's all, like I said, it's by committee. And the marketing, unfortunately, for the last several years has basically been go out shooting, go out vilifying. We know these people aren't going to like. We're making all these changes for no good reason. We know people are going to get mad about it. And, and if maybe if they kept their mouth shut and just showed not told, people would still give it a chance. I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'll give it a chance. But as soon as you don't like something, it's not because maybe you have a point or maybe, you're allowed to not like it. That's okay. No, it's automatically you're a bad person. You're an istophobe of some kind. You're, a toxic fan. You're whatever. And the media and these PR groups perpetuate it. And these people on social media are perpetuating it. And if anybody wants to point fingers at why their IPs go down the shitter, you might want to blame those people because those are the ones who keep it going and who you take a little crack and turn it into a canyon.
Yeah.
And if they just kept their mouth shut, it would have probably, more people would have given a chance. More people would have just okay, I don't like it. I'm on to something else. But it's like you turn your back and you're walking away and you're like, come back here and say it to my face. Or, you run away, just trying to get them to turn around and punch you. It's like, just let them walk away.
Let them walk away, because I think the only thing they're going to understand at the end of the day, their bosses are going to look at it and be like, why are the sales down? Is it worth rebooting this property for the 50th time when the last couple incarnations did not do well? That's the only thing that's going to send a message, And I'm not being like, no, boycott this, boycott that. I'm just saying, let the market self-correct. And if people aren't talking about these shows anymore because they don't give a shit, they will naturally die out, and studios will be forced to come up with new content, new stuff. It's pretty sad when people keep making this comparison. Now, I haven't watched a whole lot of it. I watched the first couple episodes a couple of years ago, but people keep saying the Orville is actually better Star Trek than Star Trek is currently. And it might be a case of, you find new things that remind you of older stuff. Inspired by Stranger Things. Now, Stranger Things is, it's inspired obviously a lot by like Steven Spielberg and a lot of 80s franchises, but it's also under the control of the Duffer Brothers, who are allowed to do pretty much whatever the hell they want because they bring the numbers. And again, it's that vision versus like, oh, it's the Stranger Things story group, and we're going to all come up with a bunch of ideas. So, it might just be time to just move on and not be like, well, this isn't for me anymore. It's moved beyond me, and be like, no, it's not what it was, because it's a pale imitation of the original. It's never going to be what it once was. And
it's a copy of a copy of a copy.
If it doesn't make you happy,
pizza, Steve.
Yeah, pretty much it is. And if it doesn't make you happy, if it doesn't spark joy,
donate that shit.
Donate that shit. Put it in the yard sale and move on.
Say, thank you for bringing me joy once upon a time, and then get rid of it. Or just, if there's like things you like say for Star Wars, like I like classic Star Wars, you can still like those things, even though, to be honest, even everything around it taints that.
Yeah.
Like what you like. If you want to give a new, Andor's coming up. Well, I don't like Obi-Wan. Maybe I'll try Andor. Maybe you'll like Andor. Maybe you won't. If you start watching it, you don't like it, or just wait. Even better, wait till they put it all out and watch it in one chunk, or wait till you see what other people are saying that you trust, and then decide from that if you want to watch it or not. And if you do think it's good, then go ahead and watch it. You're allowed to. But, you know, understand that you may like something and someone else might not like it, and vice versa. And that's fine. People not liking what you like, you know, and you not liking what they like should not be an issue.
Yeah, don't let them make it an issue.
Yeah, don't let them use you to weaponize you to try to push their narrative.
Yeah, and I think, you know, ironically enough, Amber Heard here, and we're going to do a video talking about that, but I think, you know, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation is going to shine a huge light on how dishonest the mainstream media can be.
But we've been telling people for years
that there is a PR machine behind it. In fact, in Amber Heard's case, you know, she's got this new guy, and you can see it in the media right now. There are PR machines behind these articles, these fan baiting, hateful articles that are written. It's all part of the marketing. Even if it's negative, it's still marketing.
Which we've been telling you guys for years. And the reason that we actually came from the marketing machine, we actually came from the other side of it. So when we started this out, we did it as one of the reasons we did it was because we were seeing how it was being pushed. We knew that was shit. That's why we were like telling you about the media way before other people were, because we were actually on the other side of it. We came across to tell you.
True story. There are ad agencies that will actually go out there and start fights on message boards.
They will.
To draw attention because they know people love a good fight.
They'll hire people to go out and do stuff just to like, you know, to put things up to cause issues or to like to try, you know, that grassroots marketing shit or they'll, they totally hire people.
It's like,
that.
It's just like in a movie. It's like, oh, we need a distraction. What do we do? Quick, punch that guy. You know, and then the saloon fight starts. And that's basically...
Now we can vilify everybody.
Now we can vilify. Now it can be like, now we can get away with putting out shitty shows and shitty movies and shitty video games and shitty comics because they're all racist.
Not saying that's what happened with the comments. I'm just saying in general. But something to consider.
There's definitely something elsewhere.
But I think Disney would do shit like this. Like when they started that random fight between Captain Marvel and Alita, when the actual thing was as a woman, they're like, hey, we got two strong female kick-ass leads dominating the box office. And if you really truly believed in girl power and feminism, that was a win. That was a win the entire way around. But then the media all of a sudden started vilifying people and all this weird stuff started coming where it was like her against her thing. It didn't need to be. Where do you think that came from?
Yep. So time to move on. Maybe we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Now he's just tasty, delicious, rotten flesh meat, which I can consume. Don't read into it too much.
Just like our museum, the cafe's open and Brewster is eager to serve. I don't think this was in the show. Run. Oh, you got splatted. Oh, she was begging and you kicked her in the face.
I don't care.
Hey guys, Squid King here, and today we're in a...
Not girl boss at all. She is not a material girl.
She is not. Oh, it's Christmas time here in your mom. Nobody wants to join your mom.
What?
Like I can't even cook kid cuisine right. I would last about 2 minutes with Gordon Ramsay.
What? Where is he?
He's hiding. He's hiding from you.
He better.
Oh my God, you got the axe.
Walker, does this look like Steven Universe? Let me punch him. Well, I'm just here for the wax. You belong.
Get in the dirt.
Well, that was a combination of events I probably shouldn't have put together. Anyways, let's open this bottle too.
Chica Pinata. Is that official?
Oh, no.
There's a bootleg.
Hello. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, it's Diamond Tool.
Let's make a farm.
Like and subscribe and buy my merch.
I mean, while you're here, you guys should like really like and subscribe and buy our merch, all of which we have.
That is true. You can't run them carrying trash. You can get away with one F-bomb per PG-13 movie.
I wish I'd known that sooner.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap this effer up.
Yes.